Here at Unfinished Business Television, we are proud affiliate partners of the site Super 7, the home of all your needs for classic 80s and 70s action figures and apparel. Be sure to support our show by using the link super7.com/AJEpics when you check out for any product in their store. We hope you can support us in our endeavors.
If you think last summer's secret is still buried,
It's happening again.
What?
if you think the story is over,
Finn Willis is dead. You killed him. They never found the body.
on Friday, November 13th, you better think again.
He's here.
Oh.
Finn Willis. Julie, watch out.
Jennifer Love Hewitt,
If you want me, come and get me. I'm right here.
I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Rated R. Opens everywhere Friday.
Hey, folks, welcome back. We're here with the latest edition of Unfinished Business Television, but with a twist because we're giving you access to a. And I am your host, Jeff Galshaw. Unfinished B2 on my social media plugs. I don't know why I'm doing this with my hand. And with me, as always, is my co-host, AJ Epics Productions own Andre Joseph. If that does not give you a hint as to what title we are talking about this week, we are talking about the big studio sequel, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer from 1998, directed by Danny Cannon and starring the luscious Jennifer Love Hewitt in her last horror film she ever made thus far. Freddie Prinze Jr. also comes back, as this time we get to hang with Brandy, and Mekhi Phifer, the realest to ever do it in a horror movie. And uncredited, and there's a reason, but we don't know. Jack Black. Cornroad pot dealer on this island. But strangely enough, this was not my pick. This was Andre's pick as a deep dive. And Andre, why did you pick I Still Know What You Did Last Summer as your deep dive?
Yeah, so I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I didn't see the first movie when it came out at the theater. I saw it when it first hit home video, and I rented it from Blockbuster. And in the original tape, they had the teaser trailer for the sequel, which I think was the scene of her talking to a psychologist, telling her that the Fisherman guy doesn't exist, and then he shows up, and I Still Know You Still Last Summer is coming out this October or whenever it was, like the end of summer, I think, of '98. Because yeah, it was right before I went to high school when it was hitting the theater. So yeah, I enjoyed the first movie because it was the height of Scream, Scream 2, Kevin Williamson writing all these edgy horror movies for teen audiences. So I was interested in it because at that point, yeah, I had developed a crush on the lovely Jennifer Love Hewitt, who, even though she's much older, yeah, I mean, yes, she's older now, but she's still delish. And I want to see it for her. I wasn't the biggest Brandy fan. I liked her music, but I'm not gonna say I was salivating for Brandy. No, I was salivating for Janet Jackson after the Janet album. That was my shit. And Mariah Carey as well. So, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go and check this out. And me and my dad went to go see it at the Virgin Megastore, the theater that's in the basement. I think that was the first and only movie I saw in the Megastore. And
I saw so many.
Yeah, because I think we were doing like a day trip in the city and we just had nothing to do. It's like, let's just go see I Still Know What I Did Last Summer.
Well,
And
not to interrupt you, ironically, that's where I saw the first one was at the Virgin
oh, okay, nice.
Megastore.
So yeah, I mean, that was the one and only time that I saw the movie, and I just remember I think I was a little underwhelmed by it. Maybe it was because of the tropical setting that it took. Maybe it was just like the twists weren't quite correct. I mean, yes, the addition of Brandy certainly brings in the black audience. And then you have the addition of, I guess they don't have Raleigh Phillippe because he got killed off. So you have Matthew Settle, who went into another movie that's pretty popular for us, The In Crowd, playing like the guy that I guess has a hard on for Jennifer Love Hewitt's character Julie. And yeah, all the shit starts up again with the fisherman guy going around and killing everybody in the resort, goes after them. And Freddie Prinze Jr., meanwhile, he was supposed to, I guess, go on a trip. He was supposed to get engaged to Jennifer Love Hewitt, but he resists for whatever reason. And then he and his fisherman buddy, they get into a similar situation like in the first movie, and then the fisherman buddy gets killed. And then he gets hospitalized and basically spends the whole movie, I guess, trying to get a gun, trying to get his way onto a boat to get onto the island to save his loved ones. It's basically like, I think he didn't want to really do the movie for that long, so he just said, I'll only just shoot for a couple of days, and while I'm doing She's All That. So maybe that was like a scheduling thing they wanted to work out. But when I rewatched it recently, it was the first time I rewatched it for the longest time. And the first thing that I gotta say, besides the fact that I didn't remember Jack Black was in this, first of all, is that this movie is blatantly racist. It really is. Every black person except for Brandy dies. And most of them getting hacked up by the fisherman dude. And by the way, Muse Watson, he's another sweet guy. I'd like to ever talk to him on the show if he was ever interested. But yeah, the character's racist because everybody he wipes out is black or just, some Caribbean person that's like innocent and random. You got Bill Cobb's rest in peace playing like a shaman voodoo guy that works in the hotel. And apparently he's trying to put a curse on the kids to be killed. And then ultimately he gets hacked up. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And this is helmed by the same man who Danny Fear Me Cannon from Judge Dredd, taking over from Jim Gillespie, who was doing that Stallone movie ICU that wound up not going to the theaters. And it shows like nobody was happy making this movie. If anything, it was more of a showcase for Brandy to be an actress after that Cinderella movie, Whitney Houston. And yeah, pretty much after this, nobody wanted to do horror after that. Jennifer Love Hewitt didn't want to get typecast, and Danny Kane's career went down the shitter, mostly doing television work. And Brandy now wants to do a horror movie long after her popularity dropped off, which is mind-boggling. So this is a strange fucking sequel that surprisingly they didn't even make a third movie until it went straight to video with none of the same stars, none of the same continuity, but they all want to come back for a reboot. So it didn't go to Scream route. It just went to the fucked up route of 90s horror that just went by the wayside.
Well, don't forget they also tried to do it as a series on Hulu.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That was I quit after episode 1. But anyway, the whole thing. I have quite a history with this film, oddly enough. I don't know if you. I know you grew up on Staten Island, but do you remember there used to be guys in Manhattan who would set up a table and sell screenplays on the street before you could really download them?
Yes,
This was one of the screenplays I bought off of. And it obviously is a very early version, but everything plays pretty much the same, maybe some casting. The ending is a little different because originally Brandy's character is supposed to die. And Jennifer Esposito's character is supposed to live. But I think they realized, Brandy's obviously more popular than Jennifer Esposito. so they switched it. And Mekhi Phifer's character was actually supposed to be Latino and going to a military academy.
I
And
forgot to
when
mention, by the way, this is my intro to Jennifer Esposito. Again, yum.
yes, he is good even in her limited screen time. Well, first, when I first got my first job at a movie theater, which was my first job, this was the film that the Union Square on 14th Street was opening with on their opening weekend. So that's why I saw it. And I was going to see it either way. I still have a mad crush on Jennifer Love Hewitt. So I was going to be there opening weekend regardless. But also with this movie, yeah, we'll call it that. This is something I hated when I first saw it. Watching it again for this show, I was like, you know what? It's still bad, but it's more enjoyable than I remember when I first saw it because it doesn't look as cheap as I swore it was when I first saw it. And I know Jennifer Love Hewitt even said the only reason she signed on because she thought everybody from the original creatively was coming back. She didn't know like Kevin Williamson was too busy with his other project to really write a sequel. And I will say this about the film. I think there's some good ideas in here, but this is obviously a first draft. Like this needed to be explored more for it to be a better film. Jennifer Love Hewitt, I like how they keep us waiting for her to be in anything like a bikini till like the second half of the film. And I was like, is this intentional? Because I'm just like, you know, she's wearing a party dress early in the film, nothing really revealing. Then all of a sudden, oh, I'm going to go tan. And then it's like, yes, two-piece.
There is no doubt in my mind Danny Cannon was obsessed with her boobs.
No, well, that's because she low-key has quite a nice rear that I noticed is watching the film is always under lock and key. But anyway, yeah, sorry, that was very misogynistic of me. But look, watching this movie, that's one of the only times the film gets exciting. So
very exciting.
Exactly. Like Jack Black, still to this day, even as a struggling actor, he knew, no, don't put my name in this. So, and this is a man who was in Gulliver's Travel. I thought that's why you were going to say the film was racist, was that. But I mean, if it's on a tropical island, who else are you going to kill? But the staff, who are all black. I thought this film had an unfortunate fate because it has so many notable actors as the supporting characters who have nothing to do. John Hawkes as Freddie Prinze Jr.'s co-worker. You have Jeffrey Combs as, you know, the weird resort owner who is definitely racist. Jennifer Esposito, Jack Black, and I don't know. I saw my version on Hulu. They definitely cut that film and made it PG-13 version because you don't see any of the violence. You see him like, okay, I'm gonna hit him with this hook, and then you see the aftermath, but that was it. You know, you never saw like any of the blood or violence. So I was like, if they would have kept that, that is also one of the only entertaining parts of this movie. And since it's out of my copy, I'm like, while I like this slightly better than I saw in the theaters, it's still lacking that. Mekhi Phifer, I give him credit because he stayed true to his character, just trying to get some butt throughout the whole film. No matter what happened, he just wanted to get a nut, and he hated Julie, obviously, found her a cock block. So if you watch it, it's almost like a romantic comedy for McCoy until he gets killed. He's like, yo, this chick is just blocking me left and right. I'm sure well, we have spoiler alerts, obviously. I really feel like the screenwriter really thought they were smart with like, we'll give him the last name Benson. Get it? Benson. Da-da-da. It's like, this must be like what the Rick and Morty writers are like at a Marvel pitch meeting. Like, hey, I've got an idea. Like, no. Matthew Settle, he's okay. I mean, he doesn't make his presence really felt. He just felt like a disposable character from the beginning. And I'm like, I'm not a big Freddie Prinze Jr. fan when he was in his teen heartthrob days, but even I was like, yeah, stick with Freddie. This Will seems like kind of a pussy. Uh, and the little hints that, like, obviously Estes knows, like, Will is Ben's son, because he's like, when I saw you when you were a gleam in your daddy's eye. It's like, oh, when you see the end, it's like, he knew. And I mean, come on, man, you killed a 90-year-old man in this fucking movie in cold blood. That's fucked
Yeah.
up. Muse Watson. Okay, so let me get this straight. Your plan, I'm gonna kill a whole island of people so I can get this one girl. It's like that was the plan. Like, I'll get he's mission focused. I'll give him that. But I'm like, so you had to kill like all these other people who know you do, which is even worse. So you could kill a girl who accidentally hit you with, she wasn't even driving, who was part of a crew that hit you with a car after you murdered your daughter's boyfriend. Make it make sense here, Ben.
Like, why waste time trying to kill these kids when you could just be like the face of Gordon's Fisherman food?
Or why doesn't your son impregnate Julie and then find out you're my bitch now?
And then the other problem I have is that all these murders are happening, but yet they're still trying to like have fun at the resort. Like, oh, let's go do karaoke so we can feature Jennifer Love Hewitt singing. Or, oh, somebody dies, let's go to tanning salon. Like, the fuck? You just went through murders in the last movie. Now you're just gonna have fun while people get knocked off one by one. Not like it was just some freak accidents happening.
And I don't get. She said she only confessed to a few people this happened, but But Brandy seems to know the history and still doesn't seem to care. And is she supposed to be replacing Julie's black roommate from the first one? Is that the same character, or are they different characters? And
I think they're different characters. And as I remember, I think the teaser trailer had the original roommate in it.
So see, I guess they were like, well, we can get Brandy. You're fucking fired. I mentioned that this was the last time she was in a horror film.
And
Freddie
she didn't do the
Prinze Jr.
soundtrack.
The soundtrack did not include her version of "I Will Survive," which would have been a plug, which you thought would be an instant plug for this movie. Freddie Prinze Jr. recently said that he's only watched it for the first time recently, but he finds it entertaining. And I'm like, Freddie, there's a reason why you didn't watch it until now when you have free time. But it is the movie where he met his wife on, so the original one. So I can see why maybe let's just watch the first one. Fuck the second. Where in the end, I'm amazed by an electric toothbrush.
Yeah,
I was like, what was it? What the fuck was the screenwriter on? Like, and Ray really likes his fucking electric toothbrush. It's like that, and obviously with the ending, there was going to be a sequel. But again, was this another fake out, or did this really happen? Did Ben somehow, in his Gordon Fisherman slicker, sneak into his fucking house to go under the bed to kill Ray and then hook Jennifer Love Hewitt's foot to kill her under the bed? You can't kill her above the bed? I'm like, I don't get this. What else? I will admit, I came to this movie to see Brandy die. I didn't like her character on Moesha, so I was like, oh, Brandy's gonna get killed. Let me see it on the big screen. Like many who went to go see Enough to see Jennifer Lopez get roughed up. That's why I saw this film.
Is it possible Brandy suggested Mekhi Phifer for the movie because he was on the Boys Mind video?
Why not? I mean, Mekhi Phifer had just also did Clocker, so he was an up and comer, and he looked a little too rough for a studio to naturally cast him. So maybe it was her choice. He works better than Fredro Starr as a romantic lover.
Oh Jesus!
So And like I said, he gives the best performance of the movie, unless you would count Jack Black. It's uncredited Titus. Um, let's see what else. Kevin Williamson. Do you know who was first offered to direct this movie back in his non-blockbuster making days?
No.
Peter Jackson.
Oh.
Yes, the studio offered him. I'm sure everybody is glad he did not choose to make this. His career would have been definitely way different if he had. Henry Thomas auditioned to play Will and did not get cast. And I'm like, I guess Danny Can's like, fuck E.T. I hated that fucking movie.
Everybody from E.T. doing horror after that.
They're good at it. You know, they had, when they were kids, they played in fantasy films. So now as adults, they're, you know, in murderous fantasies of imagination, you know, so. Let's see. I'm looking through my notes. Yeah, you talked about the abandoned sequel that they all were going to supposedly do, and then became a straight to home video that had nothing.
Jim Gillespie hates the movie.
I can imagine. He'd be like, I totally would not have done that. I totally would not have. The script would have been better. You know, there would have been more cleavage from Jennifer Love Hewitt in early stages. And what's with that dress they have around at college? She would have been wearing a halter top and liked it if I made it. Yeah, notice he was not interviewed in the Stallone documentary. Is Ben really trying to get caught? Because everybody already thinks he's dead. So all these people getting killed at the resort, what, that was just a random occurrence? You know, there needed to be more bikinis. I wrote that down. That's a note for this film. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. I have Jack Black questions, but he's never going to be on this show. So I feel like, what is your beef with this movie? You've been in worse. So,
we're not kid friendly enough for Jack Black.
Have you watched the Hulu version? It is perfect for Halloween. I wish Super 7 came out with a character for his doll for his character. And
they should. I mean, they got all the other characters that we've grown up on. They have Halloween figures. They've got some other horror stuff. Recently, Return to Living Dead. Go to the link, buy the figures, support the show. And yeah, it helps us a lot. And we love their toys.
But yeah, I want a sequel just for Jennifer Love Hewitt. He could have killed Ray in that end scene. Just bring back Jennifer Love Hewitt and don't have Ray Skeet Ulrich it and scream either. You know, you can bring Brandy, but I did like your suggestion. Let's bring it back to kind of like Scream and have a celebrity killed in the first scene and have it be Ray J.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Exactly. And he gets killed because Ben's trying to find Carla's information so he can get to Julie, who's now has like 2 children after Ray was murdered that night with and it was really fucked up because the killer stuck an electric toothbrush up his ass to kill him. That he was so fascinated by.
And he was able to still brush his teeth with it.
He died, but his teeth had never been so pearly white. I just wonder, did the killer apologize to all the white people he killed in the sequel? He's like, I usually only do this to black people.
Yeah, what the fuck? You Trump supporter?
Exactly. And he was like, was the killer really Kiefer Sutherland, who Freddie Prinze Jr. didn't get along with making 24 the series?
Somebody's going to reboot this movie, and they're literally going to make him like a MAGA villain. Watch.
I just asked you keep Ray's love of toothbrushes in the movie because that's really the only interesting character arc he has in this film. Because it's like it seems like the film is so concerned. Where's Ray at? Popping pills on a bus with this old lady looking at him weirdly. It's like Freddie Prinze did not need to film that scene. We could have just had him show up at the boat dock with Red West, still reading his residuals from fucking Roadhouse. There's a storm out there, boy. And he's like, I'm a sailor, sir. And then I would have been like, are you propositioning me? I heard about you in electric toothbrushes up the ass. So I'm just wondering. And there was no way Sarah Michelle Gellar could have cameoed in a flashback or something, like to warn Julie, Joe Pantoliano style in Bad Boys.
It could be wrapped up in a plastic bag and just haunts her.
I'm for it. It worked for Laura Palmer, so why not here? But then again, that is a better product we're talking about. Though I still feel like there is good potential for a sequel. You just look, no offense, other than Scream, Kevin Williamson doesn't have much going on. So I say he returns to this to write a third film that kind of makes up for the second film, sort of like Beverly Hills Cop 4 making up for part 3.
Yeah.
And let's just do it right. We'll even if he's still making films, get Jim Gillespie back, and you can get Ryan Felipe's son to cameo in a role, and the Prinze children the Geller Prinze children have cat this is just random because I'm a sicko. Bring Cami Mendes into this film as a character. I don't know why. She could be Jennifer Love Hewitt's daughter with Ray, the new survivor. And then we have Jennifer Love Hewitt on the back sun deck tanning in a bikini, like she should have been in this film throughout the whole film.
But you have to AI all of the cellulite and all the flaws.
I will take all Jennifer Love Hewitt law and all. Her, and then if you can somehow put Winona Ryder in this, I don't know how. We're talking about beautiful older ladies right now, so just put her in that too. I mean, she's got to do something after Stranger Things. So,
yeah, put Jennifer Love Hewitt and Winona Ryder in a reboot of The Golden Girls.
I guess they were middle-aged when they made The Golden Girls anyway, so they'd be the right age. But they can fight over who gets to play Blaine. Because Winona Ryder is way too short to play Dorothy. So I'm just like, obviously, as we've gotten way away from the origins of this episode, would you recommend I Still Know What You Did Last Summer?
Hell no.
I would say no, not a hell no, but it is of note. Brain Scan has a higher IMDb score than I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I think the score should be reversed personally. But yeah, I mean, at least this has eye candy in the form of Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yeah. So
don't worry, folks. It doesn't have Eddie Furlong's pecker in it.
That might have made it at least a little more noteworthy than it is now. And no, the much rumored X-rated cut of Muse Watson getting naked.
Oh God!
Does not exist.
He's got a Gordon's fish stick up his ass.
That's how they should have killed him in this film. It would have been better than the way they supposedly killed him.
Product placement.
And be like, not only that, it was with a lot of butter. So it went smoothly. And I think Matthew Settle is free for the third film if they want to make it him. If Muse Watson can't do the stunts anymore. So,
well, after the egg crowd, yeah, he needs a job.
He's still like, that's what ruined my career, the in crowd. He's like, fuck you, Mary Lambert. I could have been Edward Norton level until you came along and ruined my young career. I was
Juilliard trains?
He might have been. I don't know. I didn't do a deep dive into his career. I'm like, but Mekhi Phifer, we'd love to have you on and talk about you. You're one of the few things other than Jennifer Love Hewitt that I liked in this movie. In fact, I'd be like, I wish you would have survived, so you could have been in the third. And hell, so the sad part is I remember his character's fucking name because it's the same name they used for Ashton Kutcher's character and that 70s show. Coincidence? Dun, dun, dun. So that ends this week's or this episode of Deep Dive. So until next time, we bid you adieu, and you don't have to watch this movie. This month, the Deep Dives, they're sad. So until next time, we bid you adieu.
If you like this review, please be sure to like and hit subscribe to be alerted to new episodes in the future.